I do recall that I talked about the social investment program of the government. It's well thought of. The problem is that it is a little too small. So the scale of what needs to happen means that beyond social investment, the social safety net programs and some of the programs of entrepreneurship it's trying to do, it needs to know that the best way to create jobs is through the private sector. And so the kind of combination of monetary policy, fiscal policy, structural reforms that you need to do in key sectors of the economy, the combination of that would enable the private sector improve on productivity. As you improve on productivity in an economy, more private sector sees that there are opportunities, and so you expand the scope of economic activities. Today, the rate of unemployment is 18.2% or thereabout, and underemployment is about 22%. It combines to 40%. At the time in 2015, when the government took over, the rate of underemployment was some 18%, and then the rate of unemployment was 10%. So you can see clearly that you need a rapid overhaul of the economy, and you can't do anything that's tentative. I have praised that. I also praised one of the things that I praised recently was the focus that they are given to rail investment. That's so important. That is important. That's connected to interconnectivity. Connectivity is important for reducing cost of doing business in any society. Yeah. So I do praise them. What I don't do is that you can't force praise out of me. If your performance is low, I will not praise average for excellence. There's no part of my bone that does that. And now, to the government that I served, I was well known for my stance within that government. This issue of good governance has been the issue of my calling. I have been focused on nations and nation building and good governance. It is something that you cannot take away from my bloodstream. So that I served in a PDP government, for goodness sake, that should really, for those who ask, that should make me not want to say red card to PDP. But I do know that our political class is the same. The same incentives drive them. For me, the problem is that you sort of are hoping year after year that our political class will suddenly realize that a society that has almost terminated what we know dynamic and progressive societies for. And what is that thing? That there will be social and economic mobility. So people are not permanently stuck. But what we're seeing now is that people get stuck. So you can't find a child born within my own kind of circumstances, growing and parachuting gradually to the topmost of their possibilities. That shouldn't be a society. It is governance that makes that possible. So if you misgovern, it will not happen. And it is now time to say to our political class, enough is enough. We've got to disrupt this pattern.
When you look at the pool of candidates now that we have out there, a lot of people have come out to say they're running. President Buhari, of course, has clearly stated that. I think Vice President Atiku is trying to throw his hat in the card. We also have the former governor of Kaduna State, Magarfi, former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke. We have the former deputy governor of CBN. So a lot of these people are coming into the fray now. When you look at what we have presently, do you see some hope?
So one of the things, one thing that I love is that people who would normally be indifferent to the political process are now engaged. So when you talk about somebody like the Showoris of this world, Fela Duro Toyes of this world, the Kingsley Moghalus of this world, and many of the others, there are quite a number of them that are professionals who suddenly are waking up and saying, you know what, I can do this thing. That's a good development for us.
What's stopping you then?
So one of the things that I've always said, each time I get that question, I say to people that I am a person who I need to be completely convinced that this is something that I must do. I am not the kind of person who is going to say I'm coming out to run for presidency because my people or some people say I should do so.
What about it doesn't have to be presidency, any other office?
No, any other office at all. So I can't do that. I have to get to that place where I'm saying that, you know what, there's an assignment here. There is an assignment here, and I need to do this assignment and fulfill it. When I get to that kind of a place, I am driven enough to say, I've taken my stand. I'm going to do this. I am not there.
Yes.
I'm not there.
Let's talk about the Bring Back Our Girls now before we go now. I mean, it's been a lot longer than a lot of people thought it was going to run for. People are completely disillusioned. People don't even know how to react to it anymore because it looks like it's a completely lost cause. But you're still fighting. It cannot
be a lost cause.
I can see you're wearing the pin on your
It cannot be a lost cause.
Where are you with things now? Where is Nigeria with things now? Where is President Buhari and the APC with things now?
Well, where he has to be with things is to keep the promise he made. Our president made a promise before the elections. After the elections, in his inaugural speech, he said that we would not consider ourselves to have defeated Boko Haram without the rescue of Chibok girls. Now, we have 107 of our Chibok girls back, thank God, and thanks to the government. But there are 112 girls. And then there is Leah Sharibu, who should never have been abducted after that horrendous, horrific abduction of Chibok girls 4 years earlier. Yeah. So our position is that the president has not kept his promise. When a president makes a pledge, he's taken serious. And so we need the president to do everything necessary to bring back all our girls and other citizens that are in the custody of the terrorists. Very
quickly before we go now, did the police ever reveal to you why you were arrested? You know, seven members of the Bring Back Our Girls movement?
Of course not. They're just irritated. They get irritable at the fact that we remind them. And that is one of the things that is really appalling about the attitude of this government. During the time of President Jonathan, they did exactly the same thing. Yeah. They used the police to terrorize us. But you would have thought that a government that came on the basis that it was totally committed to the matter of the rights of citizens and then bringing back our Chibok girls would not be irritated every time we remind them. We will continue to remind them. Every day we are still at the Unity Fountain demanding. We also have some judicial proceedings that we're working on. We made a promise concerning Chibok girls that we will continue to ask for them, and that's what we'll do. Ebuka, can I tell your people to please join us at Teju Show Market, because we're doing the Lagos launch of the Red Card movement. It's going to happen at Teju Show. It's going by the Presbyterian Church. This is on Saturday, on the 30th Saturday, 8 a.m. Please come. We're going to be there. Let's give a red card to bad leadership, bad governance, and governance failure.
Thank you very much. That's a very good note to end this. I'm sure we need to have you back because there's a lot to talk about as we build up to the 2019 election. And good luck with your movement. I'm sure it definitely holds a lot of great things for Nigeria.
Thank you so much. It was really great to come. Thank you.
We'll take a quick break now and be right back. Please don't go away.